The following podcast is not affiliated with the developers who have created the games being reviewed. The reviews are solely the opinions of the hosts to be used to make an educated decision on what games to download and play.
Hello gamers and welcome to Budget Arcade, a free-to-play gaming podcast to help you navigate through the growing realm of free-to-play games. I'm Scott.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Elliot.
Alright, and welcome to episode number 48. Just to recap, we play a free-to-play game each week and then we rate and review it. Elliot, what was this week's game?
This week's game was the Darwin Project. It's a free-to-play multiplayer online battle royale game published by Scavenger Studios. Originally, it came out on March 9th of 2018. That was for Steam Early Access and for Xbox Game Preview. And then on January 13th of 2020, Darwin Project left Early Access. It came to PlayStation 4 and then officially Xbox One and Steam. In the game, the player must not only survive extreme environmental conditions, track opponents, and set traps in order to win, but also win the favor of the voting crowd and the all-seeing 11th player, which is the show director. He can tip the balance in any match by using specially made cards that change the field. So there you go.
And this is our second time going on this game. This is a re-review, basically, because it was in early access the first time around. And, of course, we do have Matterall back with us this time around as well. If you haven't listened to that previous episode, go back and listen to it. Really, there's quite a bit of difference between the early access game and what's come out with the full release.
Gameplay. Am I taking gameplay or what? What are we doing?
Oh, yeah, Scott, you missed this, but Jeff didn't play this week.
I have a reason.
Good.
I forgot.
Yeah, sure you do.
He said it's your fault for moving it to Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I did.
So,
yeah.
We did cover gameplay in the first time we played the game and reviewed it. So let's just go over what's changed.
Let's take advantage of my naivete and my laziness. And what has changed since the game we played that had, it's I don't even know where to begin. It's a battle royale, but you only have 10 people or 5 teams of 2.
All right, I'll hop right in.
Thank you. Gosh, save this podcast.
That's perfect. All right. So actually, as you said, it is a 10-man battle royale, 5 teams of 2. But actually, on the release, they took away duos. Right now, there is no duos. I'm assuming that it's so everyone plays the same go mode and everyone gets good at the same game before they split us up into duos. Especially because they just did a complete overhaul of the whole game. Yeah. So to just have the duo game mode as it was probably would not work. Because right now when you spawn into the game, you get to pick from 3 classes. You get the drone, which is a headhunter drone as they call it. It goes around and it will pick up loot for you. It can also track players. You also have a jetpack as one of your classes that allows you to move around the map rapidly. And a grapple hook that allows you to get around the map rapidly as well. Each one of these have their benefits, but there is some disadvantages to all of them. But I feel like if they just had left duos in, it would have been a little weird to have all these new mechanics and all this looting stuff with so many people in teams. So it made sense to leave it out for now. But the whole game, it's so much more fast paced than it was when it first started. It's actually insane.
Well, the classes are different, right? I mean, they are not the same classes too. That's a big difference, right?
Well, I have a 100%. Question too, Matterall. Do you when we talked before? There's a custom class mode, which in order to be good at the game, you kind of had to do. Is that still here?
No.
When I first told you guys about this game, I told you the biggest thing that I would probably tell a new player would be to use the custom class. That was probably my tip and trick for anyone who's ever asked me about Darwin Project. But nowadays, it actually is there is no custom class. So you pick between those 3 classes, and the only other option you get to pick from is which abilities you use, aka the electronics as they were in the old ones. You have an option between 4, and they vary per class, and then you only get to pick 1 trap to bring in. So they got rid of the whole custom class, creating boots, leather, and just like trying to like build a whole system around what you pick up in game. So they very much simplified it for new players to make it where it wasn't super hard for these newer players to join in and enjoy the game.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, was the snowball in the original, the old school version of the game?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah, it was. You could put it on your creation wheel back then.
Okay, I didn't recall it. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, it's a must-have, but it's a very good tool because as you craft a fire and you use it to warm up, you can actually use a snowball to put that fire out. That way, enemies won't be able to track you quite as well.
True. And snowballs comboed with like the new electronic ice bolt actually makes it where you can probably freeze a player to death very quickly. It's actually a very strong combo and being hated on right now.
So since they've gotten rid of duos, so I know Elliot was saying he was having problems with queuing on PlayStation. Were you able to get into a match at all, Elliot?
Yeah, so I didn't play day one. I downloaded day one because I went to work because the servers for me didn't come up, I think, until 11:30 a.m. And I was already in the gym at that point because trying to lose some weight, new year, new me. But the next day, I had a big time off before I went into work. I didn't go to the gym because it was my off day. And I could not get it. I got into one game, and then I couldn't get into a game for about 15 minutes. I gave up. Went to work, and then I came home that night and I got in without a problem. But I had that 2 or 3 other times this week where like it would literally boot me. Like I'd get into like the lounge or the lobby, and then it would boot me. So I had that happen every day.
I think that was an issue with the PS4 servers because I was watching a streamer who was also on PS4 and he had the exact same problem.
Yeah, I had
and
a
I think
friend
he was playing
that was
a few
doing
days
it
after as well,
and had the same problem too. But I like all week, even today, I had a problem with it where once I could get into a game, if I just hit replay, I didn't get kicked out. If
I didn't have any problems connecting on Xbox, and I know Matterall, I don't believe had any problems with on PC. Did you?
The only issue I have with queuing is that they did implement a skill-based matchmaking. So right now there's not many people who are considered good enough by the game to play against me. So I'll get like a lobby of 6 at some points, maybe a lobby of 3, depending on the time I look.
I was sitting in lobbies of 9 constantly. Like we were constantly looking for one more person, like almost every time. It's kind of crazy.
It's definitely the skill-based matchmaking. It's definitely kicking in very strong, and with the amount of players coming in, I feel like the ones who stay, especially because you guys have anyone who's like played Darwin before, any like prior knowledge that allows you to move up quicker in those like ranking, I feel like it definitely gets you stuck in like this section where like you just can't play against people. You can't find that extra one.
I think I had that problem because I won my first like 3 games.
And yeah, you probably got stuck in the skill-based.
And I didn't realize it. I was like, I thought I was playing against bots because I was like, there's no way of winning 3 of these in a row. Mm-hmm. But like I also, I mean, one of the things we haven't talked about with gameplay is like it's a lot of melee combat and a little bit of range combat, but like the melee combat requires a little bit of patience, a little bit of accuracy to use properly, which is one of the things I really like about this game. Like you can't just go in and swing because you're gonna counter or like you're gonna once you hit the attack button, you have like a little pause before you're allowed to attack again.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and that's one of the changes that they implemented.
I really like that change a lot.
Faster
actually.
Swing time, and now they've got that delay after you swing that you can't even swing again.
And they also made it where you have to be really close to the person, like your axe doesn't have crazy range anymore.
Yeah, and there's definitely like I know it felt like there was a bug on the Xbox too, where if you were using the jetpack and you boost away, you were still getting hit by people swinging their axe, even though you were quite a distance away, and it was frustrating to me to have to deal with that. Yeah. But I think that's probably why a lot of people on Xbox were using the grappling hook, whereas a lot of people on PC were using the jetpack.
So, Matterall, which one of the 3 classes do you take most often?
Honestly, it depends on the situation. I'll be honest. The jetpack is definitely the most broken right now. It definitely has a lot of bugs that need to be fixed. However, like they've already said they're going to fix these bugs, so it's not the end of the world. But jetpack is definitely considered like a low entry anyone can use. It's considered OP, and a lot of people hate it on in the community. But I myself jump in with the grappling hook, which I feel like has the highest skill ceiling, allowing you to hit trick shots, but also get in people's faces like 24/7.
Yeah, that's what I went with the first time because the range on that bad boy is just crazy too.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, you can really track people really well with it. I mean,
I felt like Spider-Man when you get
you
just go tree to tree.
Oh yeah, because the cooldown on it just becomes ridiculous.
Oh yeah. It's like it's such a bad early game. Do not get in fights with it early game. But if you could get away and like upgrade it, oh my god, you're playing like PS4 Spider-Man. Like it's beautiful.
Matterall, is there anything that was taken out of the beta or the alpha that you wish was left in or is missing that other than duos?
Other than duos, I feel like we all knew that the game was going to get a complete rehaul. And since I did have the pleasure of seeing some of this stuff early, most of the stuff that I would have left in was left in.
Okay.
But if I wanted anything back, I definitely want to see a custom. But I feel like there's obviously a reason, as we talked about, why there isn't a custom. It would be unfair. If we made like perfect combos around each class, and then there would be no reason for the classes again.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Like there'd be no reason to have the classes before.
Yeah, exactly right.
Scott, were you getting ready to talk about the game director? Was that what you were getting ready to do?
No, I was going to say one thing that they did change was the time it takes to harvest the materials. They've made it quite a bit faster. The only thing that's still the same is picking up chests and picking up stuff from deer drops. But they made it super fast to harvest trees, and they took out leather, but they added Darwinium as a new craftable material. And it's pretty much the same thing as what the electronics are, but in like a smaller piece.
Yeah. I think that was a great idea by them adding in Darwinium, because now you don't have to go to an electronic drop to get an electronic. You could just use your Darwinium to make electronics, as well as upgrade whatever item you spawn in with, like jetpack and such.
The only thing I see about that is it doesn't push a lot of the action early on like it used to. So people can run around and farm Darwinium as opposed to going for where the electronic would drop, or I guess it's now a Darwinium drop is what they call it. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't push the action as quickly as it used to because of that, I believe.
I feel that. I think the argument that could be made, though, is like it used to take forever to loot in general. But like now just being able to fly around and loot as you run really does make the fights happen a lot more, especially with like higher skill players that if you know the spawn, like you just loot on the way to spawn and you just fight it out very fast.
And it could also, I guess, add the argument that there's the aggressive player and then there's the slow poke like me in these battle royales where I like to hide from action and try to get my gear and get situated before I engage. And
yeah, of course.
Like it sounds like you'd benefit by going to the big mechanic first, but
yeah,
if
you
you
still
might
get
end up in
a
that
lot
fight
of resources from going to it, so it's definitely worth going to. Because
now, did they change anything on the director that you know of?
What'd you say? Any changes, director?
Yeah, was there any changes? I know. I don't think did. They even add any new director powers that you know of?
There's no new director powers. There's nothing like that, but they are working heavily on the spectator interactions on Twitch. I know partners, like I have the access to doing special games where viewers can actually buy spots in your game and join the game through Twitch.
Ooh.
And that's a big thing for directors, especially with they're going to be adding invaders, where a random viewer is able to join in as an invader into the game and actually like invade the game, as the title says. So I think that's really big what they're working on with directors, is just the whole Twitch interaction, and I think they're going to be going really hard with that. And it looked like even in their earlier trailer for this release, that's something they're heavily advertising and working on.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great way to go, especially to separate themselves from the genre Battle Royale, to really have, because there is that spectator element, to really add that in and make it part of the core gameplay.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think it's something different that we haven't seen in any game, really. Yeah. I don't know many games that have taken advantage of the spectator interaction on Twitch.
All right, so are we missing anything new on the gameplay that you can think of?
I don't think so.
The bodies drop.
Oh, yes, the bodies, they drop. Instead of you looting a body, spreads around the items that the player had on them in kind of like almost like a death spurt. It's like
Basically,
blood spurting out, but it's instead of blood, it's all their materials.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. I think that was a really, really good idea. I think if it really speeds up the action, so it makes it where like you don't have to worry about looting anymore.
Yeah, I do agree that it definitely has sped up the action quite a bit on that.
Paywall.
All right, so still paying gets you the ramen currency, which is used again
you still get the fan
for
gifts.
the fan gifts. You can actually now buy a lot of the swag outright with the ramen, so you don't have that chance thing anymore. You do have it with whenever you get a fan gift, but like you have the option to be like, okay, I've got 1,000 ramen, I can buy this legendary item, which is quite a bit nicer than what they used to do, because they used to put it on like a rotation where sometimes it would come up in the store, but now it's just outright purchase, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I think it's really nice that you can just buy anything from the dressing room. It makes it like you don't have to wait weeks after week. You just get whatever you need.
Yeah, and I think we should also add in this. Pretty much, you're just paying for cosmetics. So you're not going to gain an advantage by spending money. So if you wanted to go in and just play for free, you're still going to have the same experience.
Yeah, and honestly, I expect them probably to do another battle pass as time goes on.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they had toyed with the idea back in October of the last year, whenever it released. And they had that one battle pass, but they hadn't had anything since. But I believe that they're working on doing battle passes as well, so we can probably expect to see that in the game as well as a purchasable item for the game.
Yeah, I think that would be a great way to go to keep people playing 24/7. Because like right now, I feel like this is a great update. I think it's a great game right now, but they're really missing what's going to keep people playing.
Yeah, I completely agree with that statement on a couple of different levels, but yeah.
Because I think anything with like classes, you can only play those classes so many times.
Yeah,
So
and
I
it's
think
like
if they did that,
any battle royale where like you look at Fortnite, every week they're doing changes and having to make changes, and they're still losing game players. Now, granted, they have tons of them anyway, but even with all the work they put into that game, eventually it just trickles down. So how does Darwin try to build an audience? I'm not sure.
and like what is going to be different from like what's different with Darwin compared to all the other battle royales out there? Because I feel like there's another one coming out every day.
Yeah, I think it benefits though by having a 10-player battle royale, because if you have a small player base, having the smaller games only helps the queue times. Whereas, like we've seen with, what's the one from High Res, Scott? Their battle royale.
Realm Royale.
Yeah,
Realm Royale.
You got into there, and there's just bots, and they're terrible bots. They run into walls and shoot in the air, and you at least have the benefit of not having to see tons of those with just having the 10-player count.
Yeah, you're right. Anytime you can avoid bots, avoid them.
Yeah, it's true. And honestly, I think they did a great job, which is like we mentioned, like I feel like everything Darwin Project related is like they didn't really just look at a game and say, well, we're gonna do that. Anytime there's like an idea that's like different or something you could relate to another game, it's always like they took that idea and they ran with it in their own direction. You know, like spectator interactions, that's like obviously one example. The 10-man battle royale, surviving the cold, then the class system. Like, yeah, a lot of classes have this kind of class system, but they really broke it down onto a different level that like many other games you really don't see it happen. Especially with the whole idea of throughout your crafting.
Yeah, and the spectator interactions are really important, especially if you're going to be watching a show director on Twitch. Mm-hmm. They will put in like, different things for you to do, I'm going to drop a nuke. Who am I? Which area do you want me to drop the nuke on? And you actually get to pick that on Twitch. The director might be like, okay, I'm going to heal somebody. Who should I heal? Or I'm going to do a manhunt. Who should I put that on? Obviously, they're always going to put it on Matterall, but that's the way it rolls, right?
Yeah, it usually goes by like whatever streamer is the one streaming, that's who it's going on. Like if Shroud's playing, it's going on Shroud. If Ninja's playing, it's going on Ninja. You know, it comes down to whoever has the most viewers in that chat.
Replayability.
All right, so let's discuss the replayability with the update. Like you said, if they don't do like a battle pass style system, they're probably going to be losing player base, just because the fact that there's not a whole lot once you hit that cap on all the levels.
Agreed. Yeah, I think one thing that I know for certain though, of course they're going to do a battle pass. I feel like that one's obvious. You know, they did it. They hinted around with it. The lore option's still there on the new UI, so I'm assuming it's going to happen. But I think another thing that they're going to do with replayability is Simon, the creator, one of the co-founders of the game, kind of leaked on Twitter today that there will be more classes added in the future.
Interesting.
That's definitely like something big for the game in the future.
So they might be adding even more gadgets besides the hunter drone, the grappling hook, and the jetpack then.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're going to like make them all work. Like, since there are some issues between three of them, they'll probably even them all out. And then I think we'll definitely see more classes in the future.
Which class has the portable boom shroom?
Oh, all of them. That's actually a new, the portable boom shroom is just a new trap that you can find around the map or add into your crafting wheel on any of the classes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that one was pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel like they did a good job of making it work. Although you're playing the same game every time, especially with the tile system always changing, you don't feel like you're playing the same game all the time.
Yeah, and if they ever end up adding more show director powers, they could definitely, just what's the word I want to use?
Now, when
shake
I
it up
was
just a bit more.
playing the Xbox one back in the beta, I found the show director to be pretty boring. Have they improved that at all? Or?
I felt like it was almost identical. I played it on a PlayStation controller instead of the PC, and I don't think I liked it as much on the PlayStation as I did on the PC, but it felt pretty boring. I did it twice, and I was kind of over it already, so...
I feel like...
Well...
All right, go ahead. I'll let you go first.
The thing about the show director is you have to go in with the mindset that you're going in to entertain.
Yeah.
I really feel that the show director is one of those types of positions where you have to go in wanting to like entertain the players, or if you're streaming it, to entertain any audience that you might have. That's 100% what the show director is about. So whenever I go in as a show director, I try to make it fun, like give the inmates specifics why they were inmates in the first place. This guy's a rapist, so hopefully we'll take him out first. Stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Now wait a minute.
Casual thing.
Did you say racist?
No,
or rapist?
Yeah.
Yes, racist, like Tessa.
I know that's not what I heard.
R.I.P.
That's
I was
what I
like,
I
heard,
thought
what?
you said
too.
rapist.
I think we all heard that. I think we all heard that.
I was like, we're making accusations off the internet now. Like, oh my god! Don't let him be your show director.
It's like,
If we
yeah,
knocking on your door.
it's like we're on a watch list now. Jeez.
Yeah, right. Honestly, I think as he said, he basically said what I was gonna say, but the show director really comes down to, I feel like it's boring for a normal player, but those who like to entertain or put on a show, that's who it's really made for. And I think it's really, show director was built for Twitch. It really wasn't built for the casual to sit there and control the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't have players that are talking back to the show director, it does get boring.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like that's another thing with skill-based matchmaking. Half the time, show directors, they get into like higher skill-based levels, like usually where I am, they usually quit out because like no one talks back to them. Because like who wants to be a show director when no one's going to interact back? Like you're just putting on a show to no one.
Yeah.
Judgment.
All right, so at the end of each episode, we decide if a game deserves our seal, which is our general thumbs up or thumbs down, needs a 2/3 vote to be approved. So I want you guys to look at it in the eyes, the lens of this now being a new release and with the changes that they've done, whether it still gets your seal or not. Jeff, what would you say?
Abstain from voting because I didn't get to really play the
Okay, that's
update,
fine. We
so-
have 3 people that can vote.
Exactly.
All right, so Elliot.
All right, so I love that it's not a pay-to-win game. I love that. I think the crafting wheel mechanic is really well done here. I love the environmental aspect. Like, the cold stuff is really cool. Matches aren't that long. I think that's great. I think the spectator interaction idea is really cool, if not really super well implemented yet. But so that's my list of things I like. I have a bigger list, though, of things I dislike. I had horrible connection issues. I had horrible lag all week, which was like I was rubber banding. Other people were rubber banding in front of me. So it really took away from the fun. Combat's a little basic. I feel like the director doesn't have enough power, but also too much. It's just like a weird balance. I don't like the no duos thing, so this feels like a single player game to me that I'm playing online, which I don't really like. But the big thing really is that like there's zero crossplay here. It's 2020, and I don't have crossplay on this game. Like, goodbye. It feels too much like a Fortnite light to me. So for those reasons, I don't think this game is like a long-term successful game. I would be hesitant to spend money on this game because I think that it's going to have the same problem that it had, the last 2 years of like when we played last time. I had a hard time playing with people, like finding people. I think if they don't make some bigger changes quick, they're going to have the same problem here. But when I had fun playing when I was able to play, I mean, I did enjoy the game. So I just don't think I could play it long term. Like Fortnite, it gets kind of old a little quick. So I'm not going to give it my seal this time.
So that's one no. All right. How about you, Matterall?
So like seal, I guess. I think right now in its current state, I wouldn't give it a seal because there are a lot of issues. And with the word full release, I think a lot of people look at that like full release means the game should be finished, which is not what they meant by full release. I think full release to them meant like a complete revamp to what Darwin Project was, and a agreement that they're going to be doing monthly or however updates and making sure the game is always playable and different. I think as long as they continue down the path they are, which they have been, like the past 2 days they've hit hot fixes onto the PC side to fix some of the issues. So I'm assuming as long as they do the battle pass, they bring back duos, and they continue to create new content, I think it does get my seal. It's going to take a little bit longer for the other people to believe the same way as I do.
So was that a yes or a no?
We'll say yes. It got my seal.
Okay. All right. So, like you said, in its current state, it's very frustrating. I was rubber banding as well. There was issues where I would jetpack away from somebody and they'd still hit me with the axe. And now, granted, I'm playing on Xbox, so we didn't get any of those hot fixes that you guys were getting on PC, which is very frustrating, especially since Xbox and PS4 seem to be getting the brunt of all the issues.
Well, I gotta say, Scott, that's pretty typical across all games. PC tends to get those updates first because they don't have to go through certification, which is Sony and Microsoft.
Now, hold on just a second, Jeff. Now, yes, it's on normal games it is an issue, but games that are crossplay, that's not an issue because they fix it across the board the first time around. And what I was going to go into next was and that's what I was going to go into next. There is no crossplay. It should be crossplay. This would increase the player base if it was crossplay because then you would have more people wanting to jump into games. Like, I can't play against Matterall unless he's playing on Xbox, which he doesn't do as often as he plays on PC. So it's like my friends who play the game, I can't play with them because I don't have a PC powerful enough to play the game. So it's not going to get my seal this time around. I enjoy the game. I love it, but not in the current state.
Got it. I feel like that sadly is like, before this update even came out, I think I said it, that old players or people who played Darwin Project before this update aren't going to enjoy it. I feel like it really was it's a new game built for a new audience. And I think they did exactly what they kind of said they were going to do. They made a new game. They're looking for a new audience. It's more focused on the casuals. And it really drove away a lot of the old players or anyone who played it before. However, there are people like me who will stick through because I know where the game's going and I'm sure they're going to do a great job with it. It's just there is, like you said, they need to add crossplay, which they have said they're going to do. And they need to bring back duos. I feel like duos definitely was a hurt towards the game.
Yeah, I think
for
so
sure.
too. I think it's 6 months away from maybe being a pretty well-rounded game.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the year that it could kill some big battle royales out there. It definitely could put its marker down. I don't think full release was full release, and we have to wait to see where the game goes from here. Because they did say they're going to be working on it hard. Well, once those classes are balanced out, as we said, duos and cross-platform, I think this is a heavy hitter in the battle royale market.
Yeah, but I'm very disappointed that they didn't finish it before they did full release. So, unfortunately, this one is not Budget Arcade approved anymore. I believe it was last time, but in its current state, maybe 6 months down the road it'll be better, but we're not recommending it right now. We didn't have any listener commentary this week. Matt Earl, you want to plug yourself?
Check me out on Twitch and YouTube at Matterall, MatterAll, posting Darwin Project content, even though it's not Budget Arcade approved.
Ooh, was that a burn?
I don't know. I felt like it was just a good slogan. I don't know.
We still love you. We still watch your stuff.
Video. I don't know.
Would
That's
you ever
okay.
be
I'm still going to watch your
coming back
stuff.
and reviewing something else with us?
Heck yeah, you guys gotta give me a game. As long as it's not Cuphead. I saw you guys are doing some more
Oh,
Cuphead.
I'm so excited. I've really gotten into it. I really liked it. I played today. I really enjoyed it. It's crazy hard, though.
No. Cuphead's not free to play, so we would never do that one.
Oh, okay. Cuphead's not free. I didn't know it wasn't free to play. However, I got stuck on level 2, and I died 60 times. I gave up. I never played again. It's terrible. Terrible game.
All right, we want to thank everybody for joining us. Wherever you listen, we ask that you would leave us a favorable review, and don't forget to subscribe.
You can also find us on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Budget Arcade. We have a website, www.budgetarcade.com, and you can also check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/Budget Arcade.
And next week, we are going to be interviewing Michael Menheim, the creator of Mutant Football League, and as well Mutant Football League, which was a retro game on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, get it right.
Yeah.
I'm
You can
excited.
send any hate mail to show@budgetarcade.com. Music is provided by Stimage, and you can download his music at metroidmetal.com. And game on.